High Admiral Vexthor of the Zarkax Empire stood motionless on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Glory, his four eyes fixed on the holographic display. After 3,000 years of unchallenged expansion, the Zarkax had encountered something unprecedented at the edge of their territory. The vessel before them defied conventional starship design. Where Zarkax ships were crystalline geometric perfection, this alien craft appeared almost organic. Its dark hull rippled like muscle fiber, wrapped around a skeleton of gleaming metal that pulsed with an inner light that seemed to bend reality itself. "Status report," Vexthor commanded, his metallic voice carrying across the silent bridge. Science Officer Kelnar's fingers danced across the crystal controls. "High Admiral, our initial scans are difficult to interpret. The vessel's hull appears to be partially biological, integrated with advanced technology we cannot fully comprehend. It's generating energy signatures unlike anything in our database." The ship had appeared at the edge of the Helios system, where the Empire had recently established mining operations. Initial attempts to demand its surrender had been met with silence. Now, as Vexthor watched, the strange vessel oriented itself toward his fleet of 5 capital ships. "They're transmitting," Communications Officer Zaril announced. "Display," Vexthor ordered. The holographic display shifted, revealing the bridge of the alien vessel. Vexthor's secondary heart skipped a beat. The crew appeared to be bipedal mammals, but their movements were accompanied by cascading waves of bioluminescence through their ship's living walls. Their technology seemed to respond to them, as if it were an extension of their bodies. A figure stood in the center, clearly the commander. Unlike the ornate armor of the Zarkax, she wore a simple black uniform that rippled like liquid shadow. Only a small insignia on her collar marked her rank, a twisted double helix wrapped around a star. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth ship Nemesis," she spoke, her voice carrying both authority and an odd note of patience. "You have entered restricted space and established unauthorized mining operations in a system claimed by the Terran Federation. We request your immediate withdrawal." Vexthor's scales bristled at the audacity. "I am High Admiral Vexthor of the Zarkax Empire. We claim this system by right of discovery and strength. Your single vessel cannot hope to enforce such demands against our fleet." A slight smile crossed Chen's features. "Admiral, we've studied your empire's expansion patterns. You've never encountered a species you couldn't dominate through superior technology. That ends today. The Nemesis isn't just a warship. It's humanity's answer to a hostile universe. We'd prefer to resolve this peacefully, but make no mistake, we will defend our territory." As if in response to her words, the Nemesis's hull rippled, bands of muscle-like fiber contracting and expanding. The energy readings from the ship suddenly spiked, and Vexthor watched in fascination as what appeared to be veins of light spread across its surface. "Impossible," Kelnar whispered. "The hull, it's evolving, adapting its structure in real time. The biological components are rewriting themselves at the molecular level. You have 1 hour to begin evacuation of your mining facilities," Chen continued. "After that, we will be forced to demonstrate why humanity has survived every threat we've ever faced." The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Vexthor's mind raced. In 3 millennia of expansion, the Empire had conquered countless civilizations through superior technology. But this was something different. These humans hadn't just built a warship, they'd created something that challenged the Zarkax's fundamental understanding of what was possible. "Orders, High Admiral," his second-in-command asked. Vexthor studied the Nemesis, watching as its living hull continued to shift and adapt. His empire's strength had always been based on the assumption that their crystalline technology represented the peak of scientific achievement. Now, faced with humanity's impossible advancement, the merger of organic life and machine into something entirely new, he realized how dangerous that assumption had been. "Prepare the fleet for combat," he commanded. "Let's see what humanity's ultimate warship can really do." As his crew rushed to battle stations, Vex Thor couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter would change the galaxy forever. The Zarkax Empire was about to learn a valuable lesson. In a universe full of mysteries, assuming you know all the answers is the quickest path to destruction. Dr. Maya Patel, chief biotech engineer of the Nemesis, felt the ship's consciousness merge with her own through the neural interface. The living vessel wasn't just responding to her commands, it was extending her awareness across its entire structure. Through the quantum-entangled bacterial colonies that comprised the ship's hull, she could sense every microscopic adaptation, every shift in the biological machinery that made the Nemesis unique. "They're preparing to attack," she reported, the information flowing directly from the ship's sensory network to her mind. "Their crystalline weapons are charging." Captain Chen stood in the command nexus, her own neural connection allowing her to process the tactical data streaming through the ship's living circuits. Status of the Bioforge. Operating at peak efficiency, Maya responded. The Bioforge was her life's work, a revolutionary system that allowed the Nemesis to evolve its own countermeasures in real time. The bacterial colonies are already analyzing their weapon signatures and developing appropriate responses. Through their shared neural link, the entire bridge crew could feel the ship's excitement. The Nemesis wasn't just a vessel, it was humanity's greatest achievement, a fusion of organic life and advanced technology that had forever changed their understanding of what was possible. The first Zarkax energy beam lanced out, a devastating weapon that had shattered countless alien ships. But as it struck the Nemesis, something extraordinary happened. The ship's bacterial hull literally evolved in response, its molecular structure shifting to disperse and absorb the energy. "Fascinating," Maya whispered, feeling the changes through her neural link. "The Bioforge is already replicating the crystalline frequency. We can use their own weapon technology against them." Captain Chen smiled. "Let's show them why humanity took this path. All stations, prepare for combat demonstration." The Nemesis' response was devastating in its elegance. Tendrils of modified bacteria extruded from the hull, forming crystalline structures that perfectly matched the Zarkax weapons. But where their technology was static, the Nemesis' bacterial colonies continued to evolve, improving the design in real time. Through the view screen, Maya watched the Zarkax fleet's formation falter as their own weapons were turned against them. The Nemesis' counterstrike wasn't just powerful. It was adaptive, changing frequency and intensity faster than their defensive systems could compensate. "Their flagship is hailing us," Communications Officer Rodriguez announced, his consciousness seamlessly integrated with the ship's communications array. On screen, Chen ordered. High Admiral Vex Thor's image appeared, his four eyes wide with what might have been fear or fascination. "What manner of technology is this?" "Our weapons. You've not only neutralized them but improved upon their design within minutes." "Not technology, Admiral." Maya stepped forward, unable to contain her pride. "Evolution. Every cell in our hull is a living computer, capable of analyzing, adapting, and improving itself. We don't just build our ships. We grow them, guide them, become one with them." Through their neural link, the crew could feel the Nemesis' satisfaction. The bacterial colonies in the hull pulsed with bioluminescence, displaying complex patterns that reflected both their ongoing adaptations and their emotional connection to their human partners. "You've merged consciousness with machine," Vex Thor observed, his voice mixing horror and awe. "Your entire ship, it's alive." "More than alive," Chen corrected. "The Nemesis represents humanity's response to a universe that nearly destroyed us countless times. We learned that survival isn't about building bigger weapons or stronger shields. It's about adaptation, about becoming something more than what we were." As if to demonstrate, the ship's hull rippled again, the bacterial colonies reorganizing themselves into even more efficient configurations. Each adaptation was guided by the collective intelligence of both the human crew and the ship's own evolving consciousness. "Your mining operations have 1 hour to evacuate," Chen reminded him. "We'd prefer to resolve this peacefully, But the Nemesis was designed to face threats far greater than your empire. Don't force us to demonstrate its full capabilities. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge crew connected through their neural link, feeling the ship's readiness for whatever came next. Through the bacterial network, Maya could sense the bioforge already preparing new adaptations, new possibilities. They'll either retreat or attack in force. Chen mused, her thoughts flowing through the ship's shared consciousness. Either way, the galaxy changes today. Maya nodded, feeling the Nemesis's eager agreement through their connection. Humanity had chosen a different path than the Zarkax, embracing evolution and adaptation over static perfection. Now they would see which approach truly represented the future of space warfare. The Zarkax fleet attacked with crystalline precision, 5 capital ships moving in perfect geometric formation. Their weapons fire transformed space into a lattice of destructive energy, a technique that had broken countless civilizations before. But the Nemesis moved like a living thing, its bacterial hull pulsing with internal light. Through their neural interface, Captain Chen and her crew felt rather than saw the incoming attack. The ship's consciousness merged with theirs, turning complex battle calculations into pure instinct. Multiple target locks, Tactical Officer Zhang announced, his thoughts flowing through the ship's neural network. They're attempting to establish a resonance pattern between their weapons. The Nemesis response was immediate and evolutionary. Its hull rippled, bacterial colonies reconfiguring themselves at the molecular level. Where the Zarkax expected to find vulnerable shield harmonics, they instead encountered an organism that adapted faster than their weapons could adjust. Bioforge is identifying their attack patterns, Dr. Peddle reported. The hull bacteria are already developing countermeasures. Each shot they fire gives us more data to work with. Through their shared consciousness, the crew felt the ship's excitement. The Nemesis wasn't just defending. It was learning, evolving, becoming stronger with each exchange. Its bacterial colonies were rewriting their own DNA in real time, guided by both artificial intelligence and human intuition. High Admiral Vexthor's voice crackled across the command channel. Impossible. Our scanners show your hull is evolving. Evolution is humanity's greatest weapon, Chen responded, feeling the Nemesis agreement through their neural link. Time to demonstrate why. The ship's counterattack was beautiful in its complexity. Bacterial colonies extruded crystalline structures that mimicked Zarkax weapon signatures, but with subtle improvements derived from millions of years of evolutionary algorithms. Each shot adapted, each pattern evolved, turning the enemy's own technology against them with ever-increasing efficiency. 2 Zarkax ships fell in the first exchange, their crystalline hulls shattered by weapons they couldn't comprehend. The remaining vessels attempted to compensate, their geometric formations shifting to account for the unexpected threat. But the Nemesis was already changing again. Its bacterial hull developed new structures, organic crystalline formations that bent space itself. Where the Zarkax used technology to impose their will on reality, the Nemesis worked with natural laws, enhancing them through controlled evolution. Their flagship shields are failing, Zhang reported. The bacterial countermeasures are bypassing their defensive harmonics completely. Through the neural interface, Chen felt the ship's suggestion. They need to understand, she agreed. Show them. The Nemesis's hull bloomed with bioluminescence, each bacterial colony displaying its ongoing evolution in real time. The ship wasn't just fighting, it was communicating, showing the Zarkax a fundamental truth about the nature of adaptation and survival. By all the stars, Vexthor's voice carried genuine awe. Your ship, it's not just mimicking our technology, it's improving it, evolving it into something new. This is humanity's path, Chen explained, as the Nemesis continued its elegant dance through space. We learned early that survival isn't about building perfect weapons or impenetrable shields. It's about adaptation, about working with the universe's fundamental laws rather than trying to overcome them. The remaining Zarkak ships hung motionless in space, their crews watching in fascination as the Nemesis demonstrated capabilities that challenged their understanding of what was possible. Their own crystalline technology, once thought to be the pinnacle of achievement, seemed suddenly primitive in comparison. "Your mining operations have 30 minutes remaining," Chen reminded them. "But perhaps we can discuss something more interesting than withdrawal. Your empire has spent millennia perfecting crystalline technology. We've spent centuries learning to evolve beyond our limitations. There might be something we can learn from each other." Through their neural link, the crew felt the Nemesis's satisfaction. The ship had done more than win a battle. It had opened the door to understanding between two fundamentally different approaches to existence. As the Zarkak's fleet began powering down their weapons, it was clear that the galaxy would never be quite the same. Science Officer Kelnar of the Zarkak's flagship stood in the Nemesis's observation deck, watching bacterial colonies flow through transparent sections of the hull. Each cluster was a masterpiece of bioengineering, combining organic evolution with quantum computing in ways his people had never imagined possible. "Your entire understanding of technology is fundamentally different from ours," he said to Dr. Maya Patel, who stood beside him. "We sought to perfect the crystal, to impose order on chaos. You instead embraced chaos itself." "Not chaos," Maya corrected, her neural link to the ship allowing her to feel the constant adaptations happening around them. "Evolution. Life's fundamental drive to improve, to survive, to become more than it was. We simply learned to guide that process." Through the transparent hull sections, they could see the Zarkak's fleet holding position. The battle had ended 2 hours ago, but its implications were still unfolding. The Nemesis demonstration had shattered 3 millennia of Zarkak's technological certainty. "Our records show your species achieved faster than light travel barely 2 centuries ago," Kelnar observed. "How did you advance so quickly from primitive chemical rockets to this?" "Necessity," Captain Chen answered, joining them. "Earth's history is written in survival. We faced extinction multiple times, climate change, asteroid impacts, our own wars. Each crisis forced us to adapt or die. When we reached the stars, we brought that lesson with us." The Nemesis's hull pulsed with bioluminescence, reflecting the crew's emotions through its bacterial network. Every surface was alive, every system evolving, the entire ship a testament to humanity's unique approach to survival. "Your crystalline technology is remarkable," Maya offered. "The precision, the purity of design. But it's static, unchanging. We discovered that true resilience comes from embracing change." Kelnar touched the living wall, feeling its subtle warmth. "The bacterial colonies, they're actually improving our weapon designs as they adapt to them. Not just copying, but evolving them into more efficient forms." "That's the core difference between our approaches," Chen explained. "Your technology seeks to master natural laws. Ours seeks to work with them, to become part of them. The Nemesis isn't just a ship we control, it's a partner we grow with." Through her neural link, Maya felt the ship's agreement. The bacterial colony shifted, forming complex patterns that demonstrated their ongoing evolution. Each adaptation was a step forward, guided by the combined intelligence of human consciousness and organic computing. "We've begun evacuating the mining operations," Kelnar said quietly. "But I believe this encounter could lead to something more valuable than mineral rights. Our empire has much to learn from your approach." "And we from yours," Chen nodded. "Perhaps that's the true purpose of our meeting. 2 species, each representing fundamentally different paths of advancement, discovering they can learn from their differences." The Nemesis's hull rippled again, bacterial colonies reconfiguring themselves into new patterns. But this time, they weren't preparing for battle. They were adapting to better understand the crystalline technology of their former adversaries. "Your ship," Kelnar breathed, watching the transformation. "It's actually trying to communicate with our vessels, isn't it? Learning their quantum signatures, their crystalline harmonics." "Evolution isn't just about survival," Maya smiled. It's about growth, about becoming more than we were. Sometimes that means learning from those who see the universe differently. As they stood watching the living ship's attempts to bridge the gap between their civilizations, it was clear that both humanity and the Zarkax were on the verge of a new chapter. Their encounter had proven that in a universe full of wonders, the greatest discoveries often come from embracing different paths to understanding. 1 month after the historic encounter, the Nemesis hung in orbit around a newly established joint research station. Its living hull had evolved significantly, now incorporating elements of Zarkax crystalline technology into its bacterial matrices. The result was something entirely new, a hybrid approach that demonstrated the potential of combining both species' technological philosophies. High Admiral Vexthor stood with Captain Chen in the ship's neural interface chamber, watching the bacterial colonies interact with crystalline structures in ways that defied conventional physics. "The eternal glory systems have been changed by your ship's influence," he admitted. "Our crystals are beginning to show signs of adaptation." "Evolution finds a way," Chen responded, feeling the Nemesis's satisfaction through their neural link. "Your technology's precision, combined with our adaptability. It's opening doors neither of our species imagined possible." The research station below them represented the first formal alliance between humanity and the Zarkax Empire. Dr. Patel and science officer Kelnar led joint teams studying the merger of crystalline computing with bacterial evolution. Each breakthrough brought new understanding of the universe's fundamental laws. "The Council of Elders has reviewed our findings," Vexthor announced. "They've agreed to reassess our empire's expansion policies. Your demonstration showed us that dominance through superior technology was a limited perspective." Through the Nemesis's sensors, they watched a Zarkax cruiser testing new hybrid systems. Its crystalline hull now contained colonies of engineered bacteria, allowing it to adapt and evolve, while maintaining its geometric precision. The ship moved with a grace that merged both civilizations' strengths. "We're detecting new quantum signatures from the experimental ships," Maya reported through the neural network. "The bacterial colonies are teaching the crystals how to evolve. Soon, your entire fleet could be alive in ways we never expected." The implications were staggering. Humanity's approach to survival through adaptation was transforming the galaxy's oldest empire. The Zarkax were learning that true advancement came not from imposing order, but from embracing change. "Perhaps this was inevitable," Vexthor mused. "In a universe this vast, no single approach could be perfect. We needed each other to see beyond our own limitations." The Nemesis's hull pulsed with agreement, its hybrid systems demonstrating the truth of his words. Humanity had shown the galaxy a new path, one where technology wasn't just a tool to be mastered, but a partner in evolution. And the Zarkax had shown that precision and order had their place in that evolution. As the two leaders watched their civilizations grow together, they understood that this was just the beginning. In the dance between crystal and cell, between order and adaptation, they had found something greater than either could achieve alone. The future, like life itself, would continue to evolve.